Trapaholics Mixtapes.
All right. Check 1, check 2, check 3. This is it. Welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour with your host, me, Rob Cantrell, coming back for another one. 164, episode 164. Here we go. Welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour. I am your host, Rob Cantrell. I just had a full French press of coffee, and I'm down to the last super juice of it all. And I'm here to record a podcast with you. I have a little bit of cannabis. I got a little bit of coffee. We're into March. It's mid-March. It's kind of rainy out. It's kind of Seattle. I got gray pants on and a denim shirt. You know the vibe. I got a half a cup of coffee and I got a new one hitter, which is like the old cigarette brand. My glass one was just clogged and I was just a little too lazy to get to work on it. And so I just went with a store-bought $5 one hitter, but I don't want to use it too much because they're metal. And I would rather go with glass. But sometimes it's good to ration out the herb. Because I'm not huffing and puffing hardcore, but I am. You know what I mean. I got some coffee here. I got my packed one hitters. I got some great cannabis. That's the other reasons I'm going with the little tiny one hitter is I got a ton of little work to do like we all do. And then I also got really good herb, like a great strain. I just want to give this strain a shout out. Apple Fritters. Apple Fritters, super heavy hybrid, but tastes great and is less filling. And it inspired me so much that yesterday I bought it's an apple pie, but it has just full on crumbs on the top that crumble. An apple pie crumble, I guess is what it is, where they just like, yo, we don't need a pie top. We just gonna just put a bunch of crumbs on here. And actually, the crumbs taste better because they're stuffed with cinnamon and they're stuffed with coffee and crumb apple pie and a little bit of herb goes together. So that's the holy trinity. That is the holy trinity. Apple crumb pie, a little bit of coffee, and a little bit of cannabis. And try to get yourself a strain of Apple Fritters. Life is good. But I need to slow down a little bit. I'm coming at you hot with this apple crumb pie in the Apple Fritters strain. Look it up. I use Weed Maps usually, or Leafly is another good site app that can, zero in on your 420 needs. Because it's evolving. The whole cannabis movement is evolving, and it's international and it's global. And the plant has been on this planet forever, and it's made and weaved its way through all different types of cultures to get to this moment right here, right now, talking 2022, 422. Where are you going to be? April 422. I want to give a huge plug. I'm doing a live streamed comedy special called Dynamo Kingdom, and you'll be able to see it and hear about it. I'll post stuff on it on Rob88 Cantrell Instagram very soon. But yeah, you'll be able to buy tickets, but I'm doing it with a bunch of comics, and there's also like a crazy rap battle. I'm not going to do the rap battle. I'm not into rap battles, I like watching them and they're fun. And for this live stream to get, smoke a little Apple Fritters and have a little apple pie and watch the live stream, I would definitely do that. But Dynamo Kingdom, it's going to be filmed from Chelsea Music Hall, and the director and one of the comics is Victor Vernado. And Victor has been in the movie Pluto Nash. He's also been in some Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and he's also directed a bunch of not little, but like a lot of television. But stuff you don't like mainstream stuff, commercials. He's also, he's a man. He's like he is an albino. I mean, you'll go check out Victor Vernado. I don't want to we had him on the podcast, but I guess what I was thinking about was he is kind of like a New York super artist. Like he does film, he does comedy. And I guess I was watching this thing on Andy Warhol last night on Netflix. Now you could take like a lot of high-end art type stuff. You know, I do have kind of blue collar roots enough to be semi-suspect of it. But in terms of graphic design and just like that dude broke barriers, you know, a lot of people, you know, the hype is real in terms of the Campbell's soup and just making, you know, a lot of being an artist is arrangement and setting it in the right place. But you know, I recommend it. I saw the first episode. It was just cool to see old New York and see how this dude's life evolved. Even if it's not Andy Warhol, which was dope because I live in New York, I do art. And he kind of expanded. What was dope about him was he expanded just beyond paintings. Like he did paintings, he did film, he did porn, he did music. I don't know if you would call it porn, but he did all kinds of, I mean, gay culture, early 70s, late 70s gay culture in New York City was definitely, you know, cross-sectioning with the art, high-end art and the low-end art, which he, you know, what I dug about him is he was a part of it, but he also didn't really fit in with anything, and he just kind of created his own universe. And that's what we're all here to do. And that's what the Cannabis Coffee Hour, I mean, soon we're going to have some hats, we're going to have some sweatshirts, we're going to have some fanny packs. We're going to have probably our own Sharpie collection. I've been trying to draw more. I got this book. I've been drawing a lot of cats because I got a cat. And cats are fun to draw with Sharpies. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. A little bit of cannabis. Oh my God, it tastes delicious. This is going to be a great episode. I can already tell. But I got a full Nalgene bottle of water, and that's one thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to drink 3 liters of water a day and get 10,000 steps. That's my goal. And I've been hitting like 7,000 and drinking a lot of water and coffee. But I can tell when my headache kind of starts or if I'm kind of dried out. I gotta drink that water. So I'm gonna drink some water because I'm just drinking this super lava coffee. The thing about these big mouth Nalgene bottles is that you can really chug the shit out of this water. Yum. Water, air, tastes so good. Keeps me alive, keeps me from turning to wood. So I'm all about the apple pie. I had a pumpkin pie too. Pie and coffee goes together. I don't know if you ever have some leftover pie and you're like on your last cup of coffee in the afternoon, and then you're like, oh yeah, I got that pie. You know, and then you slice it up. The thing I've been doing with the apple crumb pie is like I've been doing these micro slices. So I'm like, oh, I'm not eating that much. And I'm like killed like 3/4 of the pie, eating like 18 mini quesadilla slices off this apple pie. Having some coffee, talking about the live stream on 420. Not to plug anything, but I'm just getting excited. I haven't been performing hardcore, but I've been doing this podcast, so please like and subscribe. We have a Patreon. It's Rob Cantrell Coffee. Throw some dollars at that if you got a little extra dollars. Fund the campaign. We're moving and grooving. It's an art piece, baby. The Cannabis Coffee Hour. I get to have some coffee. I mean, this is the most ideal job. And the whole thing is I don't really have much pressure on which way it goes, but I am trying to make it a little bit better. I'm doing the audio a little bit better. I was on the road and I was taping a lot of stuff off my phone. I've been fucking with the fisheye lens for the Patreon episodes. And I do like that aesthetic, and I'm going to keep doing that, especially when I interview special guests coming up. And I do got that coming. But right now it's like rainy and everything, and I could have set up a Zoom, but I wasn't feeling it. The last few times I used Zoom, it was like the audio and the video wasn't exactly what I wanted, and I paid extra money to bump that joint up. And yeah, I don't know. Zoom might be dropping the ball. I got to check out Google Chat. I heard that's pretty good. But we're working with it. They might get their shit together. Who knows? But I do know I got some fun stand-up shows. First, I'm doing the live stream on 420, and then I'm going right to Denver. I'm doing Friday and Saturday night. It sounds like 5 shows, but it's a little tiny venue that I think is like partially outside the Comedy Lounge. Google it up. Definitely Google it up. I'm messing with the levels. I hope that we're getting the good audio for you guys. Because I'm looking at this wavelength and it's a little skinny. I want it a little fatter, but sometimes after it settles in, it gets a little bit fatter. But maybe it's like how I talk into the microphone. Sometimes that I get so excited to do this podcast, and then I start getting into it and I start talking off mic. These are the things you learn after 164 episodes. You learn how to talk into the microphone. So I'm doing the Comedy Lounge in Denver, and then I'm going to Boulder, and so that's going to be a fun ride because Cannabis is wide open out in Colorado. In terms of the dispensaries, they are, almost further along than even California. There's very few places, but, like I said, Michigan's moving good, and so is Massachusetts, and so is D.C. So I'm excited for those shows, and I'm also doing shows in Brooklyn. I got 3 summer shows. I got one show a month that I am producing. I'm booking. I'm doing the whole thing. June 26th, July 31st, and August 28th. Come through. The last Rob Cantrell and Super Friends I booked. So hopefully that thing will expand. I can't tell you how much fun the last one was, and just to get back on stage and work out stuff and have my friends there, and then I had a lot of neighborhood people around, and so that was dope. And so we're going to do 3 more of those. So that's what I'm excited about. I've been looking into purchasing this beat machine to get back into doing some music, but I don't want to be pulled. There's so many things I want to do, and I can do. If I could just, file out the distractions. And that's what I've been working on. I meditated today, did 20 minutes, did my 5 Tibetan stretches. The meditation was 0 music, nothing. I even turned the humidifier off, and I went right, into breathing in my heart. It was a hard one, actually. I wanted to stop, but a lot of that is like I read a little bit on Buddha's or just like mindfulness books right before I do it. And sometimes you can go overboard with all this stuff. And I don't want to talk about it too much because it definitely puts you asleep. But in the sense of it does, for me, it can tone they call it capturing the monkey mind. So I was just, working on capturing the monkey mind. But then I get the monkey mind working doing this podcast and thinking about all the fun gigs and lining them up, booking them, making sure I'm prepared, making sure I'm coming on point. I mean, I'm trying to cut up some clips for my Instagram to put on Reels. And I have all these old sets, but, I'm further along or I'm doing different stuff. So it's really hard to watch, and then also edit. It really takes a lot of focus and to block out all the negative thoughts that are in your brain while you're, it's just really hard to look at yourself. And a lot of that is from the ego. And once you can get away from that, you can get the work done. That's what it's all about. And Andy Warhol, that's what was interesting about the documentary, was he was getting the work done, man. He just would put it out, and that's what the factory, he actually bought a space. He bought a piece of real estate where they would shoot films and have actors and actresses, and then he would do art, and they would produce the Velvet Underground. That's all where Lou Reed came from. The Lower East Side and the West Side. Lower West Side a little bit too. But now New York's mixed up a lot more. I mean, Manhattan still has a lot of artists and art freak a little bit, but Brooklyn is a little bit more. Got that in spades in a couple different places. Williamsburg. I think Williamsburg became the new Lower East Side throughout the 2000s. And then that almost went overboard. And then that drifted into like Greenpoint and Long Island City and Queens. And now it seems like even Staten Island's getting hip. Well, Staten Island's always been Wu-Tang. So to me, Staten Island's always been kind of hip. And then shout out to Pete Davidson and all his super drama that's going on. I definitely don't want to have a podcast about gossip, but I do know Pete. I've seen him back in the day. I haven't seen him in years, but we have a good rapport. And I used to live in his neighborhood before he was famous, and I would run into him, or like just briefly. He had this bicycle, I remember, and then I would run into him at the comedy club. But we kind of moved in different circles in comedy a little bit. Sometimes I'd run into him. Everybody's moving at their own. It's like a bunch of fish out there just swimming along. Just like everybody. One big ocean, bruh. I definitely want to get back into swimming and stretching out. It was fun going skiing. I went skiing in Michigan, and then I went skiing in Massachusetts. I didn't get to go skiing in Colorado or Tahoe, but I'm not a snob like that. I'm not that hardcore of a skier, and I am a snowboarder the last few years, but this year I went skiing, and I like those parabolic skis. I like saying that word, parabolic. These things are parabolic. That's when they make the ski like kind of fat at the end. They do like a figure 8 duck bill on them, and that's when freestyle skiing, when people were, they really do turn smooth. It's easier to turn on them from what I grew up in the 70s, 80s, and even 90s. But parabolic started coming out in the 90s. I think that's when it started coming, in the late 90s. That's when I first started seeing them. And the skis got shorter. I think that's a direct influence on snowboarding. But yeah, it was fun. I went to 2 small ski mountains, but I want to do more of that. I want to get out there. I'm excited about these Colorado shows and just checking the vibe and getting out there. Getting out there is half the game. And then once you get out there, that I do know some people that know some people that can get me some shows, so maybe I can figure that out. But more, I would like to travel out there more so I could ski and go hiking as well, and create wonderful content and do the Cannabis Coffee Hour. Yeah, when I'm out there, I'm gonna do a dope one out there. We got some dope shows. I'll do some good stuff. I love this show. Remember to like and subscribe. But I definitely have some gifts in my horizon, in my goals for this podcast is really simple, just trying to make it a little bit fresher, a little bit doper. I try to listen to it. The last few podcasts, I didn't like the audio, but I do like the new beats. Let me know what you think. Contact at Rob Cantrell. Hit me there. Contact at robcantrell.com. Tell me what you think about the podcast and the beats. But I mean, everybody's making beats, but are they not? I mean, everything is at everybody's fingertips right now. Whether you want to do film, whether you want to do music, that's what you got to think about, or the cannabis industry. Shout out to Dr. Bronner. Dr. Bronner, I like their hand sanitizer. I was going to get their shaving cream. I have gotten their shaving cream before, but it's a little gooey. I got the tea tree oil one time, and it did feel good, but I think I let it leak or something. But the hand sanitizer is dope. Dr. Bronner's got some good soap, and they got some good ethics. They're all about legalizing cannabis and legalizing mushrooms. I saw in Canada, this one town had all these psychedelic mushroom dispensaries quickly open up, and they're all opening up. I think it's just due to mental health, and I also think it's due to, I think there are some mushrooms that are poisonous, but I think psychedelics in terms of helping with trauma and processing trauma and working with mental health, in a controlled environment, probably can be beneficial, or at least, it's something to try instead of electrotherapy, because it is organic. I think is probably the thought process of it. I saw something about mushrooms, mushrooms is what connects all living things in the plant world together. It shoots supersonic electronic rays that connect it. I don't know if that's right, but that's also a documentary on Netflix, I believe, about mushrooms. Not psychedelic, but some of them are. But is there? Yeah, I love stop motion, but stop motion of mushrooms growing is the best. I might have to watch a few of those after this episode. Now that I think about it, it's one of my favorite pastimes. No, but whenever it happens, I'm like, whoa. That was wild. Any plant life during stop motion, but you gotta have a lot of film if you're doing that, or you're just letting the camera run and then you kind of go into the editing bay to slow the film down. Yeah, so I was excited about those shows. And been skiing, but now I'm stretching. Now I'm drinking a lot more water. I'm trying to slow down with the coffee. I think the coffee was giving me the shakes a little bit. I'm trying just to do one French press, or maybe even just 3 cups, and then kind of slow down for the rest. Go back to the big jug Nalgene bottle. What else? I've been watching a little bit of Eckhart Tolle. The meditation and the mindfulness with everything that's going on in Russia and Ukraine. Not to go political, it's you really do have to take it one step at a time and try to be as mindful as possible in the moment, because you got to rock that moment. I'm trying to see. I've been watching a lot of reaction videos. I don't know why, but that's been kind of for music and stuff. This song, I've been listening to Love and Rockets, No New Tale to Tell. Now the lyrics are great with that. And this Red Hot Chili Peppers Black Summer, it really ain't that bad. The Chili Peppers is that's a guilty pleasure for me too, because they're so big now, and sometimes they're just sometimes it's just way too much. The Foo Fighters and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I like both of those cats, but they're as mainstream and as corny as you might get if you're a little bit younger or whatnot. But you shouldn't even think about that. You should look at it at one piece of music. But they're such big bands that I think like their videos get great, and the songs are always well produced and sounds good. You could tell they put a lot. And Flea's just amazing guitarist. Oh, the Black Summer song isn't that bad. It's pretty good. It kind of gives you that Californication album. I really enjoyed. I really thought that was a good album. And then they had some Scar Tissue. That's a great song. Under the Bridge is like, that's almost like that song got played so much you can't even listen to it anymore. That's what happens sometimes. Things get like, that's like Lao Tzu, The Way, like things get so big that they kind of fall aside after a while. That's why you don't want to wish to be too big too fast. One step at a time. I like this one interview of Joey Ramone and Lemmy. They're together and they're on MTV. I think it's like the metal show or whatever. But they have a lot of mutual respect, and I think it's because they're the same age and they've been in the industry for a long time. So yeah, I guess that's the most of the music I've been listening to. I'm trying to think, like hip hop. Have I been listening to a lot of hip hop? Yeah, I always listen to enough New York hip hop. Trying to think what I've been listening to a lot of Grateful Dead again. A lot of Grateful Dead. Been listening to this song, Jack Straw. I've been thinking about doing a stand-up bit about that. I'm trying to get into writing a little bit more. And just being a little bit more disciplined with it. But I am. Another thing is I'm trying not to be as hard on myself. And just trying to, enjoy the process of getting the material together. Because I got stuff laying around and kind of organized. Like, that's how I work. I just do a little, and then I keep it going. You got to go at your own pace, I've seen people go so big and so famous and then fall away or drop down or, but you got to just do it at your own pace. Because what other way is to do it? I'm really excited for the weather to get better. I do think that will bring like the corona numbers down, and I'll feel better about going out and performing more and doing more stand-up. And the world just coming back and coming together. I think the number one problem, I was talking to my brother, and he made that point, and he kicked it to me, and I was like, oh, that's actually right. The divide in the country, that's like the big problem. So lately I've been thinking like, just drop all pretense about everything. I'm just worried about the moment and how I can best serve the people around me and try to create a good vibe, but also, strengthen up my resources and kind of think outside the box in terms of what I need to get done at that moment. Like, I've been making more beats for the Cannabis Coffee Hour, and I've been trying to be a little bit more selective with it and trying to fine-tune and evolve that whole process of finding the beat and making the beat and what app I'm using and having fun with it. Definitely having fun with it. And definitely trying to, like, draw more. Like I said, I got the most ultimate set of Sharpies. I got these metallic Sharpies that even shine. They look like spray paint. After this, I just want to draw some cats, and I want to watch some stop motion mushroom growth. That's a good afternoon. Some cannabis, some coffee, a video of stop motion mushroom growth, and you have to draw cats with very exciting colors of Sharpies. And you got a big, fat Nalgene bottle. Welcome to the moment. Welcome to here. Welcome to now. More coffee. Pow. That sounded a little bit too much like Mark Maron. I don't want him to get on me. But everybody drinks coffee. Coffee, Seinfeld, coffee, Cars and coffee. I got, but not everybody drinks coffee, but it's out there. And it's definitely permeating the American culture. Starbucks is almost bigger than McDonald's now. But if you have Starbucks in McDonald's, oh man, that's yo, that is North Korea and South Korea right there, man. That is two different superpowers, or I don't know. They're not superpowers, but I was trying to work on a joke there. But yeah, if you have Starbucks, but now McDonald's pretty much built their own Starbucks in there because you can get like a double Big Mac and some French fries and a double latte with a zippity zap and a zoopity zoop and a caramel Oreo cookie crunch with an apple strudel in there. Get some apple fritters on the top and take a big bong hit of it. Shout out to Burt's Beeswax. I got the vanilla bean flavor. I'm telling you, if you ever get some, if you need some, you know, sometimes you just walk around like, what's wrong with my life? What's going on, bruh? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I don't have any lip therapy. And you're like, my lips are just fucking hurting. When your lips are chapped and you start getting like a headache, you just start bombing out about life. You're like, oh, goddamn, these lips are falling apart, man. And you're like, oh, Bert, oh, thank you, Bert. I missed you, Bert. Come over here, Bert. Do you have some of that wax? And he just puts his finger in his ear and he's like, and he just starts wiping it on your lips. Burt's Beet Wax. Vanilla bean. That's the flavor. Oh, yeah. This is an edgy podcast, bro. I'm smoking herb. I'm putting on Burt's Beeswax. You don't even know. And I just shaved. I got a clean shave. Clean shave as a man. Good clean shave. Right before the shower, got a stack of fresh washcloths. Can't even think of anything better than a fresh washcloth. I mean, that hasn't been used. Just maybe just right off the rack. Oh man, that's what I've been doing lately. When I wake up, I've just been doing the washcloth face down. Just pull all the grease off my face, like. And then I take my big Nalgene bottle and I chug a bunch of water. And then I make some coffee. And then I make the banana smoothie. But I don't know, this banana peanut nut butter, it's so good. It's delicious. Literally, like the last 10 years, I have woken up to a banana peanut butter, iced oat milk, cinnamon, turmeric. I don't know if it's been 10 years, but this shake has evolved. The shake, I call it the Liquid Elvis, but it's bananas. I go ice. I go banana. I go peanut butter. I go almond milk, turmeric, cinnamon, Calgene. It's the marine Calgene. Because you know what Calgene is like pig fat. And I'm not doing, like, Calgene's supposed to, like, I like the plant Calgene is like what's in the middle of succulents. It's in everything. I guess it's in all organic matter. But the one I got is from fish. And it's supposed to get into your joints. And so I do that. And so your joints are feeling funky good. And so I zip that up. And that's been, and then I have French press coffee. I really can't complain about anything after that. I mean, it's weird how we complain and we have everything. That's what's so fucked up about this stupid war. You know, it's like we have everything at our fingertips right now. Literally, we're flying into outer space. Soon there's going to be electric flying cars that you could probably program to go wherever you want, and you can electrify the best kind of cannabis. Not that it always goes back to that, but it kind of keeps your feet on the ground. You know what I mean? Keeps you humble a little bit. Keeps you looking inward instead of outward. Follow the spirit. I tell you who had a good IG. Shout out to Redman, the rapper from New Jersey. I liked his Instagram. He was talking about how everybody's struggling, but you got to follow your spirit. That's what he said. Close your eyes and follow your spirit. That's what I've been at, is closing my eyes and following my spirit. And my spirit says, yo, you got to smoke some apple fritters, you got to drink some coffee, and you got to do another podcast of the Cannabis Coffee Hour. Just for your fans that are out there, I appreciate you. Yo, like and subscribe. I got some shows coming up, got some guests coming up, got some more beats. But Redman, like I've said, in terms of hip hop, there's certain dudes that I've never heard whack. I've never heard Redman spit anything whack. Method Man, kind of the same gig. Ghostface, yes. I've never seen him spit anything really whack. There's some, they've all done some experimenting. I'm not saying they all knocked it out of the park every time, but on the most part, like a lot of music, like they have one or even not even hip hop, like bands, or they have like one jam. They did like 10 albums and they got one song that's worth listening to. Music is crazy and how fast it's coming right now. Thinking about the past and the future and beyond. Right now, I just really am listening to a lot of Grateful Dead, and shout out to Billy Strings. I've been listening to, who would have ever thought I would be into bluegrass, but I do love me some bluegrass. I got to be who I am. You know, I am part Appalachian, Virginian. That's my dad, and just like that whole area. The other day, I put on Elvira, Giddy Up, that's the Oak Ridge Boys, which was like their huge mainstream 80s country, and it's funny. So if you want to, I want to say Alexa, but that's what I played it on. Like, you don't play your good songs on your good shit, but when you just do a shout out, a goofy song on Alexa, that's when you play some Oak Ridge Boys, Elvira. Oh, turn that thing off. Alexa, shut up. Alexa, stop. She doesn't know. She doesn't know I'm doing the Cannabis Coffee Hour podcast. Having some water, hanging out with you. Just been trying to keep out the media a little bit. I've been going for mad walks, trying to get the steps. When I found out whenever I go for a walk, and mostly I just try to get to nature, and you can smoke one hitters, or I can smoke one hitters or not. But I try to. That's how I break the 10,000 steps. If I get to the park and I get a good walk in, because I'm not in. Running's good, but it bangs the hell out of your joints and your bones and everything. Swimming is the bomb. I'd love to own a swimming pool, but then you got to have some of the chlorine and all that. I'm trying to think. If you can live near a small lake or the ocean with some good, what are they? Lifeguards. Even I'm a great swimmer. I wouldn't say great. Like, I'm not super. did swim team when I was young. Not in high school or shit, but till I was like from the ages, because I had older brothers and older sisters, so I was just always at the pool. We would go to this place in D.C. that was part of the Air Force. It was like what was that place? It was a part of, because my dad was in the Air Force, that we could go there, and they had a great swimming pool, and it seemed like the community of D.C. parents that were connected to the military at all could go there. And it was quite the scene. That was definitely the 70s. But yeah, I was on swim team for a long time. I guess until I was like 13. But I was never that good. But I can always, like, if anybody like pushed me in the pool or swam in a lake or told me to jump in a lake, I could survive. I could swim. Being close to a small lake is good. That's a good swim. But being on the ocean, I was saying, like, you definitely want somebody else there because that undertow is no joke. Surfing, man, that's the ultimate sport in my world. Like, in terms of how I know I talked about being a chairlift operator on the last episode, but in another life, or maybe this life, but I was never that aggressive, and you can really fuck yourself up in surfing. But I did love just paddling out there, and that's the closest to nature, is getting out there in the ocean and just feeling Mother Ocean, just how little you are and how it can pull you this way and that way and waves, and whew, it is a humbling experience. I encourage everybody to get out in nature. It really is coming out, with mental health and everything that's going on with the pandemic. Like, I go to the park and I go for a walk and I literally just go touch trees. Like, I like how my hand feels when it touches the bark. Like, I think there's energy there. So and I do think it calms your soul and brings your blood pressure down. So sometimes I'll just go up there after I chewed some vitamins and walk around and touch trees like a super creep. But I love it. Get some good air, more plant life. Everybody's got plants in their house. I've been good. My plants are healthy as hell, and it's been cold and weird and whatever, but I get some light. I talk to them. I'm not growing any herb right now. It's not legal in New York that way, and I just don't have the time or space. But hopefully other people are doing that for me in the future. But in the future, I would like to, because of the money. But right now, like, getting the space and time and all that is a little tricky, especially in Brooklyn with the real estate and all that. I'm just running gun, no gun, but you know what I mean. I'm just run. Metro card, a car. Dude, I was supposed to move my car the other day, and it was the day I was supposed to move it. I had to move the car on Wednesday, and I forgot. And then I went down there, and it didn't get a ticket. So now I get the whole week. I was like, oh, shit. I was so bummed. And then because I knew I missed it. And I knew the ticket. I knew I deserved the ticket. And then I didn't get the ticket. They were being cool. So thank you, universe. And thank you, Cannabis Coffee Hour listener. I love you. Thanks for listening. I'm going to say bye. I'm going to say bye-bye right now. But check out my website, www.robcantrell.com, for tour dates, because they're coming on. Going to be doing some shows. Got a cool live stream coming up on 420. And we got some guests. We're going to be drinking some more coffee. This was coffee from Peru. I got some beans. I got a last-minute bag at the bodega, a local little Brooklyn joint. I got some Apple Fritters Cannabis out of the new cigarette one-hitters. If your joint's ever clogged up, grab just a fresh one. Don't use it too long because it gets clogged. But to make your good strain last a little bit longer, that's a little tip. So how about that? All right, I'm out. Bye.
discovering truth is not a question of intelligence. It's intelligence, no intellectual ability or intellectual intelligence at all. Because if it were, I mean, there's so many people with really sharp intellects, you know. They have such skill at comprehending or going to the point. So if that was all that it took, there'd be many Buddhas who came to the intellectual artery.